Hello and welcome to your Actives EU Tweets of the Week. Christmas plenary plans are not much to applaud. BlackRock contract inherently flawed. Orban versus Clooney leaves us all slack-jawed. And we bid farewell to the hand of God. This week we are supported by E12. More about them later on. So you know that dull period between Christmas and the New Year when there's nothing to do? Yeah, no, not this year. 2021 has a final kick in the teeth for tired parliamentarians as the European Parliament agrees to meet to approve a Brexit deal if necessary. On the 28th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me, as clasped by a plenary. Quick, Martini Seltzemeyer. Burly Monster reminds MEPs that the period is known as the Millennium. But Rachel Wayland sees an upside, saying that those complaining about stay-at-home restrictions will have less time to argue with friends and family. French MEP Nathalie Loiseau complained that, to most observers, Brexit looks like a boring grey soap opera with many repetitive episodes. We try, Natalie, we really do, replied journo Nick Gutteridge. It's the political version of EastEnders, claimed John Whelan. John, despite Ursula von der Leyen telling MEPs and governments they need a creative compromise, I don't really think it is. It is, however, scandal time again. The EU Commission hired BlackRock, a big investor in fossil fuels, to advise on the EU's sustainable finance agenda, explained Corporate Europe Observatory, adding that the Commission did not properly consider conflicts of interest when granting the contract, and on Wednesday the EU Ombudsman criticised the Commission, saying it should have done more to consider if there was a conflict of interest. The name BlackRock didn't ring any alarm bells, tweeted Brian Maguire incredulously. Wow, the Commission actually found BlackRock's price abnormally low, said Benjamin Brown, who finds it curious that the world's most fearsome antitrust enforcer didn't think that something fishy might be going on. Asking BlackRock to suggest the best rules for sustainable finance is like asking a nuclear power company for advice on a nuclear phase-out, said Kenneth Haar. Also this week, COVID rages around Hungary, our healthcare system is crumbling and unemployment is on the rise, and Hungary's government, checks notes, is sparring with George Clooney, said MEP Kathleen Cech. Two things I never thought I'd hear in the same sentence, Viktor Orban and George Clooney. But hey, it's 2020, anything is possible, added Carissa Nietzsche. It breaks down like this. Clooney said Orban, along with Bolsonaro in Brazil, was spreading hate, and Orban's Fidesz party reacted in entirely predictable fashion by claiming that George Clooney is a stooge for George Soros. Flora Gamivolgi summed it up, the typical playbook. Literally anyone criticising Orban? Hungarian pro-government media? Soros! George Clooney responded, the Orban propaganda machine is lying, full stop. I would be ashamed if I were not on the record for speaking out against this kind of authoritarianism. This week we are supported by E12, who are working for a green internal electricity market. Read their position papers on how to meet the EU Green Deal targets by following them online at enso_e. Finally this week we said farewell to one of the footballing greats as Diego Maradona died aged just 60. European Parliament President David Sassoli was the first to tweet condolences from the EU, and Tweet of God said, I just got my hand back. R.I.P. Maradona. That's it for this week. Join me again next Friday for more fouls and yowls in the Brussels bubble Twitter sphere. And please keep spreading the word with the hashtag EU Tweets.